What's up, YouTube? It's Donovan, the smartphone guy, here to do my full review of the TicWatch 2. So this is a watch that I've been using for about 2 weeks now, and I gotta say, let's just start off with I love this watch. It's a very nice watch. It is probably the fifth, sixth, I don't know how many smartwatches I've had, but this is definitely my favorite. I'm coming from the Moto 360 Sport, which you can see my review for that if you're interested right up here. I've also had the Gear Fit 2 and lots of other smartwatches before that, but this one right now I have to say is my favorite. So in this review I just want to talk about what I like, what I don't like, because this isn't a perfect watch, but it is a very, very good watch, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. So first of all, let's talk about pricing. So I have up here on my phone, one of my phones, I have some of the pricing on Amazon. So right now you can get the charcoal version, which is what I have. That's the more sporty version for $180, or you can get the exact same thing, the white version, in for $170. We also have the Onyx version. The Onyx version is I'd say the business class version, because it has a nicer stainless steel casing, and then it does also have a nice metal band as well. And so that one's $255, and then you also have the oak version, which has a silver casing, and then it has the leather strap. So one thing I really like, first of all, so let's talk about, I'm going to set that to the side for a second. Let's talk about the hardware itself. So the hardware, this watch is easily one of the most comfortable watches that I've ever owned to wear. Like, I don't ever, with some of my other watches, I get like along that, you can see my bone kind of sticks out there, and that's right where I sit my watch. And a lot of times I get just kind of, it gets raw there. And with this watch, I've never had that. And this nice sport band just feels super comfortable. So obviously, if you got the metal version, I can't really speak to that one because that's not the one I have. But super comfortable to wear. You see that you can actually, this is another one of my favorite things about it, you can replace these straps to put any kind of straps you want. So if you're going to a nice party or whatever, and you want a little bit more classy look to it, you can replace the straps real quick and yeah, go out to your party and then replace them when you go out for a run next time. So that's one thing I really like. So hardware wise, just I give it an easy 5 out of 5. One of the most well built, and I mean, obviously it's not the classiest looking one, but again, the Onyx version, if you're looking for the Onyx or the classiest version, you want to go probably with the Onyx version. So another hardware thing I'll mention here while we have it is there is just one hardware button, so that's this one right here. So you use that to turn the screen on. That's the primary thing you're going to be doing with it. Really, other than that, there's not a whole lot you're going to do with that hardware button. And then we do also have the tickle side, which is kind of something that's different to this watch. So I'm already at the bottom. So you can use this to scroll through. So this is the side, and I'm just scrolling through using, it's called the tickle side, or I'm not exactly the tickle touch. So you can use that, but personally, I've never found the need to use it because this just works a whole lot better with my finger. I like it a lot better. So I haven't really found a time when I felt like, oh yeah, that's what I want to use. I want to use that tickle side. So is it a gimmick? Maybe, but I personally just like using the actual touch navigation. So in terms of software, this is running Android 5.1 with obviously a very, very heavy skin, because really it doesn't look anything like Android 5.1. So the software options that you have here, these are the apps that are available. Now, there are some tutorials where you can actually side load some Android Wear apps. So if that's something you're interested in, I'll go ahead and leave a link down here in the description, because that is possible, and I've seen it done with some other people. Personally, I haven't tried it because it's just not something I'm interested in. I like this watch because it works so well as a notification system, and I don't really care about getting Android Wear apps on here. That's just my personal opinion and for my personal preference. So going back into the software options, so the apps that we have available is the dialer. So the dialer allows you to answer phone calls and hang up on phone calls, and you can actually dial directly from the watch. And this watch does have a speaker, so you can actually make phone calls from it, and you can talk to the person on the watch, but you do need your phone connected to it through Bluetooth. So we have a calendar, which shows all your Google Calendar options or whatever calendar you have on your phone. We have a health option, which shows you your steps. It will also show you your heart rate. So I can click on that and it'll show me my heart rate, which both of those seem very, very accurate. From my testing, and I've used a lot of step counters, a lot of activity trackers, a lot of smartwatches, and this one seems very accurate when I compare it to those. Fitness app, So this does have GPS built in, so I can go ahead and click on the outdoor run, and it's going to show me it's going to use GPS to show me all of my statistics. Very accurate. I really like the outdoor version. The one thing I don't really like is kind of the interface. So it always has the elapsed time up here, and then I can cycle through some of the options here. So it's going to show me my speed, it's going to show me my pace per mile, my current heart rate. But the only way to see those is I have to cycle through them. There's really no other option. So, if you're a runner, you probably know that it'd be nice to have those kind of like, maybe all 5 listed on here, because it's not that hard to see. So anyways, that's just my personal opinion. So if I want to stop it, I can pause it here, or I can turn it off right there. It'll go through my statistics here, so that's really nice. And you can actually upload these to Strava. You can upload them to Runkeeper, so 2 of the more popular ones, also to Google Fit. So then there's the outdoor run, there's the outdoor walk. Obviously, that's very accurate because it's using GPS. Cycling, and then freestyle uses just heart rate. The one that I have had the most complaints with is the indoor run. So I've been running on the treadmill because it's freezing out in Michigan right now. And the indoor run just has not been very accurate. I did actually talk to TicWatch engineers, and they said that is something that they have been working on to try to get that algorithm working a little bit better. But it is something that personally is a little bit of a frustration. The indoor run is just not accurate when you compare it to the GPS that it uses for the outdoor. But it still counts the steps very accurately. It just doesn't count your distance very accurately. And that's even after adjusting for your height and your weight and things like that. So just something that they need to work on. Now, software wise, I've had 2 updates. So I've had this watch for I think 12 to 14 days, something like that. And I've already had 2 software updates. So that's kudos to Tic. Or Mobvoi is the name of the company that makes the TicWatch. And that's fantastic. I don't know of a company that puts out updates that often. So that's just great. So software-wise, very, very nice. Obviously, there's limitations unless you get some of those side-loaded apps. So we have also a music player. So the music player obviously will play your music that you have to transfer from your phone to the watch, and it doesn't work with Spotify. It doesn't work with Google Play Music. The weather app is really cool. So 7 degrees. Yeah, I told you it was cold. And so then we have our 3-day forecast. And I think that's it. Yeah. So just those 2 things. It does actually allow you to, if I touch that, it will actually speak the weather forecast to me as well. So that's just another thing it can do. We have a stopwatch, pretty self-explanatory there. We have the recorder, timer, alarm. So the alarm works really well. I've actually used it as my primary alarm since I've had the watch because it starts out by vibrating, and then after a while it will stop vibrating, and it keeps vibrating, but it also will start doing a noise that gets louder and louder and louder until you actually wake up or turn it off. Then we have a calculator, which works just, as you'd expect a calculator to work. And then we have our settings. So in our settings, we have network, sound and vibration, power saving mode. The power saving mode actually literally shuts everything off. It literally shuts every single thing off if you want to turn that off. On the power saving mode, you could literally probably wear this for weeks because I think in the power saving mode, when I turn that when you turn everything off and it just turns the watch face on, it goes through about 3% battery in a day, maybe. It's crazy. I did actually use that for a little while just to try to test it out, and it's an insane amount of battery life with that on. So gesture, obviously, you can flip it to turn the wrist on. So I have that actually disabled because I prefer just to hit the button or to touch the screen to see the time. But I have it also on ambient mode. So an ambient mode, you can see that it's always going to have your display. So to interact with it, you just touch it, and you can see that obviously that works very well. So those are just some of the settings. I'm not going to go through all the settings because, like I said, if you're interested, I did a first impressions video where I go through all of the settings there. So then we're going to scroll down. So that is to the right is the apps. To the left is our OK Tico. Oh, I already did that. That's already. I can just do OK Tico. And it would bring up that, or I actually turn that off. Or what's the weather like today? Okay, so it picked up everything that I was saying, but it still registered that I was asking for the weather. So that is very accurate, but it's limited as to what you can actually look up. Because, like, for instance, let's say I want to know about the score of the Warriors game. What's the score of the Warriors game? So you can see it picks up your voice very, very well, but then some things it does well, some things it doesn't do so well. So normally I'm actually using my phone that it's connected to on to do this recording. But normally that would actually bring you a Google website that you could then bring up on your phone when you ask for like scores and things like that. So it's a little bit limited in that regard, not as smart obviously as like OK Google. So just maybe something to consider. So the notifications. So if I scroll up from the bottom, it gives me my notifications, which this is probably the number one thing that I love about this thing. So let's go into this Twitter feed here. So this is a Twitter notification. So this is Devoom. It's a speaker company. So I tweeted about that speaker company. So I can open it on my phone or clear it. So that's just because they retweeted me. But let's go to, let's say, I guess we can go into this one. So this is a company that's contacting me about wanting me to review something for them. So if I scroll all the way down, you can see that I can archive it, delete it, reply, or I can open on my phone. So if I hit reply, I can actually speak my reply to them. And that works very well with Facebook Messenger. It also works very well with text messaging. And it interacts very, very well. And with text messaging, I wish I actually had a text that I could bring up on this thing real quick. But with the text messaging, it gives you a number of options of automatic replies. And you can also, on your phone, through the app, preset a whole bunch of replies as well. So let's talk about the app while I have that and while I'm talking about it. So if I go into, whoops, I had this up earlier. So this is the app that it uses. The app so far has worked very, very well, and you can see some of the things that you can set there. So you can set notifications, the watch face. So there's a crap ton of watch faces available. So if I come in here and just hold this down, so that's one that I actually downloaded, but then you can see here there's a bunch of watch faces that are available. And this isn't all of them. Okay, so this is just a few of them. So I can scroll through, and well, since Star Wars is coming out, we'll switch it to a stormtrooper there. So that's pretty cool. So lots of watch faces available, and you can also bring those up on the phone, or from the phone. So you can see that this isn't actually the phone that's connected to it. Quick Cards allows you to just kind of adjust what things come up in your shortcuts. So if I come up here, so these are obviously notification issues. So I have 48% battery. So that's another thing I can talk about in just a little bit. Battery life on this thing is fantastic. You could probably get easily through 2 days. So I'm looking at 24 full hours right now, and I'm at 48%. So I could probably go through one more day of usage and probably be good still. These are just some more shortcuts. I can turn the brightness up on the screen here. Some more shortcuts that also you can go through in the settings and address those. I can actually use this as a music player, so it works with Spotify, it works with Google Play Music, it also works with the native music player on your phone. But again, the only actual music you can put on the watch is music that you have downloaded to your phone. So no Google Play Music, no Spotify music can go to this watch. So that's a limitation for sure. And then we have the weather there, and then the step count. So that's what's available there. All right, so we'll put that away for a second. So then I can just adjust some of the health things here. I can adjust the weather, the music. So that's how I'm actually going to put music on there, is I can come into this app, and so it's not even paired to a watch. So again, I'm using the phone right here. So then the recorder will actually put the recordings from the watch to the phone, fitness, taxi, and help. So those are just some of the options that are available in the app. There is also the store, which is a pretty big limitation for me. So let's talk about that for a second. So if I go in here to the store, here we go. Here's the store. Okay, so you can see here that there's some pretty popular ones, or those are the featured ones. We have the watch faces, which I already showed you. There's a ton of watch faces. So these are ones that I actually don't have downloaded. We have social. Ready for this one? Look at that. One app for social, and it's one that has 2 stars that you're pretty much never going to use. Tools. Okay, so there's a few there. So there's a to-do list, there's a weather, but there's already a weather app on there. This metronome, I could see somebody using that. There's a flashlight option, so that's okay. You can use that, I could see. And then there's an FTP server. Other than that, there's really nothing else in this on the tools. And then health and fitness, siren music. I'm not exactly sure what that's for, but nothing that you would ever use. So that's it. It's limited in terms of the software options that you can add to the phone. So that's definitely a limitation that I would say that you'll probably find with the watch. But for me, this watch does everything that I want it to do, because if you think about what a smartwatch is for, it's to get quick notifications, and this thing does it so well, and that you can interact so easily with these notifications. And that's easily my favorite thing about the watch, is just how well that works. And then personally, as a runner, I love having the GPS. I can run without my phone, and I can even put some music on the watch that I have downloaded to my phone, and listen to it through Bluetooth connected device. So that's really nice. So Bluetooth connected headphones. So I can run completely hands-free, which is awesome. So to kind of sum this up, hardware is beautiful. The software is easily some of the best software. If they could just get a few more apps to maybe work with it, maybe Google Play Music or Spotify or something like that. There are a few things that I could see them adding to it that would be beneficial, but for what you want to use a smartwatch for a notification system, this thing is absolutely fantastic. Sleep tracking, there is no sleep tracking. So that would be maybe, I know for a lot of people, that's something that they like to use their smartwatch for, or their activity tracker for. This doesn't do sleep tracking, so that's maybe a negative. I'm sure that's probably something they could add in the software, but it's something that they don't have now. And the lack of apps. So those are the negatives. But overall, I would say this is easily worth your consideration. I have absolutely loved this watch so far. So if you have any questions about the watch, if there's anything that I missed, I'm sure there's something that I've missed in this video, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. I'll try to address those as fast as I can. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to this channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next video. Peace.